Comfort here. Welcome to my channel. In this video, I'll be talking about the different types of breast milk. Here, I'll be discussing about the type of breast milk, the initial breast milk you produce immediately you give birth, and the breast milk that comes along your breastfeeding journey. So, without wasting more time, let's get straight into the video. It is very important that you know the types of breast milk. The one you get from the first stage immediately you give birth and start breastfeeding, and along as you continue with your breastfeeding journey, so you don't miss out on anything, especially the first one, which is the colostrum, and then to the mature milk. And in the mature milk as well, you don't miss out on the hin milk and the fore milk, so you know more about it, and you don't give your child like half and half of breastfeeding, and you give, if you're ready to breastfeed, then you should do it perfectly. So in this video, I will guide you on how you can do that. So number one is colostrum. Colostrum is the first milk your breast produce immediately you give birth. So colostrum is very rich in mineral, vitamin, nitrogen, white blood cells, antibodies, salts, and is very low in fat and sugar. And this is perfectly just what your baby needs initially when you give birth. And when you give birth, you produce just 2 tablespoons of colostrum, which is perfect amount for your newborn tummy, because your newborn tummy is just the size of their fist. So imagine their tummy is very tiny, so you don't need to worry about producing a lot of milk. You're not getting enough to give them initially. Whatever you produce immediately is perfectly enough. Colostrum also help clean meconium from your newborn intestine, and elimination of meconium from your newborn intestine also reduce the risk of jaundice in your newborn. So colostrum is a very good start for your newborn. Don't skip breastfeeding your child colostrum. So the initial breastfeeding, immediately you give birth, you see, the nurse will bring your child for them to start feeding. Don't skip that. Important for a great start for your newborn. The next one is preterm milk. As the name implies, preterm. So if you give birth to a premature child, you will be producing premature milk. So premature milk is high in fat, sugar, and protein, which is just the perfect milk your child needs to grow and gain weight and grow. And preterm milk later, after a month, changes to mature milk. So you need to pump the breast milk, and you take to the NICU for the nurses to feed your baby with it. Next one is transitional milk. Transition from colostrum to mature milk. So this is the milk that your breast produce between births and towards when your mature milk comes in. And for transitional milk has a lot of benefit because it still have a lot of content of the colostrum in it. So as the day passes, gradually you transit from the transitional milk to the mature milk. The next one I'll be talking about is the mature milk. So mature milk begins to come in within 72 hours after you give birth, and it completely replaces transitional milk after 5 days. Your mature milk will provide all the essential nutrients your baby needs for the first 6 months of life. And for the mature milk, your baby gets 2 types of milk, and this type of milk is the hin milk and the fore milk. The fore milk is basically what your child gets immediately you start breastfeeding, when you latch your child to start breastfeeding. So about 1/3 of the breast milk your child gets is the fore milk, and fore milk basically satisfy your child with water and energy. So basically I call the fore milk the starter. So fore milk is like the starter for if you're feeding your child less on one breast and then you transfer to the other breast, you're basically feeding your child the formula. So what your child gets is water and energy, and they don't get the nutrient, the main nutrient from breastfeeding. In order for them to get the main nutrient, you need to continue to breastfeed on one particular breast longer for them to get to the hind milk. So the next one is the hind milk. The hind milk, as I call it, is like the main course because it contains all the fat and nutrients that your baby needs to grow. So if you continue to feed your child, the child gets satisfied. So with the hind milk, this is when they really get the nutrients that they need to grow, and they get maximum satisfaction from breastfeeding. If you stop at the full milk by breastfeeding like less, they will not get to the hind milk. If you continue to breastfeed, your child feed more and they get to the hind milk and they get satisfaction of the nutrient, and they also get completely full. Therefore, full milk and the hind milk work hand in hand for a complete breastfeeding. So if you're feeding your child, it's best you feed your child well long enough on one breast before you transfer your child to the other breast, so that they get the maximum nutrient from their feeding. With that, we've come to the end of the video. In the video, we learned about the colostrum, which is very important and very vital in the first 72 hours of your baby's life. That is what you produce immediately you give birth, and it's very vital and it's very nutritional for your child. And the second one is premature milk, which, as the name implies, premature, from a premature mom produce premature milk, and it's rich in nutrients which your child needs to gain weight and grow. And the third one is the transitional milk, which acts between the colostrum and the mature milk. And the mature milk was divided into two. Your child gets the full milk and the hind milk, and in order for your child to get the maximum satisfaction from breastfeeding, you need to breastfeed from the full milk down to the hind milk, and by doing it longer enough on one breast before you switch to the next breast. And if your child is satisfied well enough on one breast, you don't really need to force the child to have from the. All you just need to do is get an indicator, or every mom has a way of telling their indication, either by placing a ribbon or something up there. So the next time you're breastfeeding, you know you're feeding your child from the next breast. With that, we've come to the end of the video. Thank you for your time, and see you more in the next one. Bye.